Hey, it's Jeffrey Pepper Rogers here for Acoustic Guitar with the second installment of a basic series called Step into Soloing. In this lesson, we're going to talk about how to create a solo using scale notes and chord shapes. So in the first installment, we played simple blues solos using the E minor pentatonic to play over a blues in E. And this time we're going to apply a similar approach to a country or folk kind of progression. We're going to use the progression from a 3-chord classic, John Prine's Speed of the Sound of Loneliness. First, we're going to build a vocabulary of notes to use, and then we'll play a series of solos over that progression. So let's dig in. As I mentioned in the previous lesson, we were using the E minor pentatonic to play a blues in the key of E. This time we're going to be in the key of G, but the good news is the notes of the E minor pentatonic also work in G major. That's because the keys of E minor and G major are relatives. They have the same notes in their scales and the same key signature with just one sharp, F sharp. So let me show you what I mean. Here is the E minor pentatonic scale. 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you add just two notes, F sharp and C, that are not included in the 5-note pentatonic scale, you get a G major or E minor scale. Now, here are the notes of that scale from the lowest to the highest notes available in open position. And these are the notes we're going to use to build solos for our G major progression. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me play it down also. 1, 2, 3, 4. I should mention that when I'm playing that scale, I am generally keeping my hand in position, using my first finger to fret notes on the first fret, second finger to fret notes on the second fret, third finger to fret notes on the third fret, and pinky to grab that note on the fourth fret. To help get these scale notes in your ears and under your fingers, let's play a series of 4-note phrases. I'm going to start a metronome here, and it's a series of one-measure examples. So I'll play it, and then I will leave a measure blank. You can either repeat what I played in that blank measure, or you can just wait and reset for the next one. In this first series of examples, just going to play 4 consecutive scale notes, ascending and then descending. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you could pick any note in the scale and do the same thing, playing up or down the scale. In this next series, I'm going to play 4 consecutive scale notes, but change direction in the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now here are some examples where I'm going to skip over scale notes. 1, 2, 3, and... Next, let's add a pair of eighth notes into each one measure phrase. 1, 2, 3, and... Finally, here are a couple of examples where we're going to play eighth notes for half the measure, the second half. 1, 2, 3, 4. For all these examples, you can get started by playing the phrases as I've done them there, but then make up your own variations, starting on different scale notes on all the strings to really learn your way around. Now we're ready to jump in and take some solos. Speed of the Sound of Loneliness uses the same 8-bar progression through the whole song, both verse and chorus. It's just G, C, D, and G. 2 bars for each chord. So I'm going to play the rhythm part with a simple boom chuck, bass notes on beats 1 and 3, strums on 2 and 4. I'm going to play through this 8-bar rhythm pattern twice so you can loop the examples. To construct solos over this rhythm, bear in mind the core principles that were introduced in the last lesson. First, to play phrases with breathing room in between them, as in a vocal melody. The second is to create and repeat patterns, rhythmic or melodic patterns or both, so your solo hangs together. For our first take, we'll keep it really simple, playing quarter and half notes, letting a few longer notes ring out at the ends of phrases. But notice that the rhythm pattern in the first phrase pops up again. The solo establishes a little rhythmic motif that you can continue to repeat and play off of. 1, 2, 3, 4. The next solo adds a little bit more rhythmic complexity and also uses a repeating rhythm. 1, 2, 3, 4. Any notes of the G major scale will work over the whole progression, but of course the chords are changing from G to C to D and back to G, and you can reflect those changes in your solo by highlighting notes from each chord along the way. We did the same thing in the last lesson on the blues, playing the root of each new chord on the downbeat. The easiest way to find those chord tones is just by picturing the open chord shape. So as you solo over a G chord, just visualize that G shape almost like it's a hologram over the fretboard, and land on open strings or fretted notes that are in that shape. So when the progression changes to C, do the same. Picture your C shape and play notes that are in that, and ditto on the D. So here are the notes in each chord that are available in open position from the 6th string going over to the 1st. So So first on the G chord, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you'll recognize that G shape as I'm moving across there, and also notice that you can play the open second string and the third fret. Both those notes, B and D, are part of a G chord. So now on a C chord, 1, 2, 3, 4. So again, you can see the shape there, but on the sixth string and on the first string, you can play the open string and the third fret, because both those notes, E and G, are part of a C chord. So on the D, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, those chord shapes are very clear in our next solo here. The solo outlines the notes of each chord and also mark each new chord in the progression by playing the root right on the beat where the chord changes. When you spotlight chord tones like this, your solo clearly establishes the chord progression even without accompaniment. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can also use the song's own vocal melody to guide your solo. In the last example, we're going to take one more solo that echoes Prine's melody in a few ways. This time we're going to play through the progression twice for 16 bars. If you listen to Speed of the Sound of the Loneliness while counting along to its meter in 4/4, one thing you'll notice is that the phrases, many of the phrases start around the middle of the measure, not on beat 1. So for instance, what in the world's come over you? What in heaven's name can be done? The word what falls on beat 3 of the measure, not at the beginning of the measure. So in the solo, we're going to do the same thing, starting phrases on beat 3. This solo's phrases also follow the general direction of Prine's melody, which lays out in 4 lines. The first 3 lines descend and the 4th ascends. So in the solo, I just added in a couple of short fills in between phrases. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now that you've played through these examples, it's your turn. So here are some extended rhythm tracks to improvise over. I will run through the progression 4 times slowly, and then I will do it a little faster. So bear in mind the G major scale notes, the chord shapes, and the phrasing of Prine's melody, and see what you come up with. Have fun with it, and I will see you next time. Once again, for acoustic guitar, I'm Jeffrey Pepper Rogers. 1, 2, 3, 4. take it a little faster. 1, 2, 3, 4.